I'll sit there if you want to sit here. Hey, I thought that was for the for the sergeant at arms. Parliamentarian.
Thank you very much. How are you? Good. How you doing?
BH.
Hey there. Good luck.
All right, it's 6 o'clock, so we're going to call our regular session for the month of September to order. And let's go to the Lord in prayer and put in the pledge of allegiance before we get started. God, Heavenly Gracious Father, we just love you and praise you so much, God, for the many blessings of life you have bestowed upon each one in this room tonight, dear God, Lord. And we thank you for this opportunity to come together, discuss the business of Tift County, and ask you to give us the good judgment and wisdom not to make the right decisions for the citizens of our county. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, is there anyone in the audience that'd like to come speak to us about anything at this point?
I would.
Yes, ma'am. Come here. State your name and address, please, clerk.
Yes, hi, my name is Reverend Veronica Anderson Lewis. I reside in the city of Tifton, but I pastor a church at 1908 South Park Avenue in Tifton, Georgia. My wonderful council person, Donnie Hester, for our church. I just wanted to address this body to thank you for the work and the concern that you have had for our county. I'm a new person here in Tifton, Georgia. Back in April, we had a 411 session that involved our Commissioner Hughes and Commissioner Hester and the mayor and several other people that involved my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And we invited citizens, it was open to everyone, to ask questions and to get information about the county and what's going on in the city. We're going to have another one in October, and I want to invite everybody to our session so that you may ask, even if you can't make this meeting, but you'll have a forum as a citizen to just ask questions and to be informed about Tift County. So I'm glad to be here, and I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
Reverend, what's the date in October?
Oh Lord, I was just looking it up. Hold on, because y'all got to me quick. Let me get back to you with that, because I don't want to give the wrong date.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
All right, anyone else want to speak to us? All right, seeing no one, we'll go on to the appointment of how we have Al Potts for the Georgia Forestry update for us tonight.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, Al.
Hey, I appreciate y'all giving us a few minutes tonight. And as usual, we always come and give our annual report from this past year. Our fiscal year runs from July to June, and so this will be the work that we've done previously. And again, I do thank y'all for this time. I'm gonna run through it pretty quick. Looks like y'all got a lot of business tonight, so I'd hate to hold y'all up. But as far as personnel there at our Forestry Commission, it's been me and Bruce Free. I got Bruce with me tonight. And Bruce is here tonight observing because he might be the one doing this next year, okay? All right, so we are short of help at this time, and I think it sounds like a lot of people are, so y'all know what, somebody looking for a good job, we could use somebody. Of course, you know, we issue permits and for woods, ag lands, land clearing, and there's our total, and we wrote 797 permits for 8,461 acres. And we no longer write permits for yard debris, so our numbers are down, but that's just a reason for that. So you don't have to necessarily have a permit for yard debris any longer. You just gotta abide by 5 rules. And so that's the thing with that. So we also burn, we assist landowners with burning, and this past year we burned for 13 landowners, 1,060 acres worth. So fire breaks, we plow fire breaks for our landowners. We plowed for 22 of them this past year, over 1,100 miles on a bulldozer, plowing fire breaks for 48.2 hours. We didn't have too many fires this past year. We had 21 of them, burnt 61.38 acres, and our average fire size was 2.92. So, you know, fires, depending on, as far as we're concerned, basically it's weather related, you know, so last year was a pretty average year on rainfall, so we didn't have a whole lot of wildfires. We do have a couple of nurseries and we sell seedlings. We sold over 12,000 seedlings. We like to get out and meet the public, do educational outreach programs, and this past year we've done 23 of those for 873 people in attendance. And we have a management forester. If somebody needs advice on pine trees or thinning or even a disease or health of the trees, they can call him or call us. We get him in touch with you. He done 52 cases last year, so that's kind of the rundown. Our numbers are usually the same because we always have more work than we have help. So when you ain't got 2 people, that's about all you can do. That's stretching it right there. So, but anyway, again, I appreciate what y'all do for Tift County and us citizens of Tift County. And if you ever got any questions, holler at me at the Forestry Commission. Be glad to help with anything, whatever y'all need.
Thank you, Alan. We appreciate what y'all do as well.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions, Ralph? All right.
Appreciate y'all's time.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to items we add to the agenda. 4.1, the addendum to contract with Watkins Engineering for pickleball court complex project. Mr. Garner.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we discussed the pickleball complex during our regular meeting, and the addendum to that for the engineering services is what's attached. You see that in front of it is our practice. Once the job's bid and it's there, then sorry, my phone vibrating. I'm on schedule. I'll do it all it's the engineering addendum for engineering services. That's what it is.
All right, we have a motion to add this to the agenda. So moved. Second. Okay, all in favor? All right. Second item is notice of award for the pickleball court complex project.
Hang on, Mr. Chairman, I'm having technical difficulty. I'm on the set. Mary's left. She can't tell me how to get this back up here. Chairman, you were there, so just for the rest of the board knows that when we opened bids Friday, September 8th at 11 o'clock, there were 2 responsive bidders to that request for bids for the pickleball court, and the 2 bidders were, one was S.C. Barker, the eighth bid was in the amount of $1.1 million, $37,478, and then standard contractor, we had a base bid of $1,238,927.50. With an addendum to the bid packet that we set out, and we asked that the companies actually give us a price for total rebuild, not just overlaying. S.E. Barker did not submit an add-on or an addendum to the agreement, but standard contractors did, and they will actually do a completely new surface, a base and everything. They'll take everything out, put it all back to the same base bid price as they gave us to do the overlay. So I think what you're going to see from, at least from my perspective and from the engineer, is that we recommend for the price difference that we do not take the bid, we take the highest bid, we went through the price of $1,238,927.50, because that is a bottom-up rebuild. That's taken out, putting the base in, new surface in. So any of the cracking and stuff we've tried to mitigate with the resurfacing project, we won't have to do because this will be brand new. It's for the same price, and for the money. I think we put on. I answer your question.
All right. Right now, we have a motion to add this to the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. I got a little side leg.
Yeah, you
I'm happy about that pickle ball. I'm so glad to get this off my plate, I can't tell you.
So moved.
All right, we have a second. Commissioner Webb seconded. All in favor?
So we're at this as well.
All right. All right, we need to approve the minutes for work session August 8, 2023, executive session August 8, 2023, regular session August 14, 2023, call session August 24, 2023, and executive session August 24, 2023.
So
Commissioner Hector moved, have a second?
Second.
Or Commissioner Wood? Whatever. Commissioner Wood seconded. All in favor? Okay, now the public hearings. The first one is TZZA 23-07. Chris? Good evening.
First application before you tonight is a Waterford subdivision by the Waterford Investment Group. Yeah, if you think back, some of you may not know the board at the time when this subdivision came up originally, they got approval for both sections. Now they're just coming forward now with section 2 to begin construction on it. We've reviewed all their site plans, their civil drawings, they've all met the requirements of Tift County Unified Development Code. They're going to begin construction and erection of the 19 lots of section 2. This is just a formality for y'all to approve their section 2 of their development.
Any questions? Hank?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin the part of the meeting. This the public hearing. It's going to be on the application that was just outlined for the Waterford Investment Group. The way the public hearing is going to be conducted, people that are for the application will have an opportunity to speak first. And then once they're done, people that are against the application will have an opportunity to speak. Anybody that comes forward and speaks, I ask that you please state your name and your address. And again, now tonight we're having 2 public hearings. This is the first one, and it's on the Waterford Investment Group. When this one's done, then we'll have another public hearing on another matter that involves Trend Reel Incorporated, petition to rezone another section. So there'll be 2 public hearings. This is the first one on Waterford Investment Group and that subdivision. So I'm gonna, as soon as comments are made by the public, I'll poll the board and make sure they don't have any conflicts of interest, and then they'll take up the application. So at this point, I'm going to open the public hearing and ask that anybody who's in favor of application TCZA 23-07, just please come forward, state your name and address, and make your comments, please. Anybody? All right. Anybody that's opposed to the application TCZA 2307 by the Waterford Investment Group, you're welcome to take the podium and make any public comments you'd like to make. All right. No comments have been made on Waterford Investment Group public hearing. At this point, I'm going to poll the board and see if anybody has a conflict of interest. Does any member of the Board of Commissioners, any of your family members, or any business in which you own an interest, have any interest in the outcome of this application that's presently before the board? Rigdon, you have an interest in it?
Well, we did some legal work, so I believe that would leave me out.
You would be disqualified. for
Yes.
this. Other than Mr. Rigdon, it appears everybody else is qualified to take up the application.
All right. So, ask any questions at this point?
Oh, well, just to be clear, for Chris, so the, planning is only recommended approval.
Planning and
correct?
zoning, I'm sorry, Commissioner, planning and zoning heard the case on July 13th and recommended approval.
So the 11 criteria, they found no
They met
issue
all
with
11
any of those.
things.
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay. We have a motion on, application TZZA 23-07.
I'll make a motion we, approve this application as presented.
We have a second?
Second.
You second, all in favor? All right, Chris, it's TZZA 23-08.
For the application we're having for you now is TCZA 2308, application by Trend Real Incorporated, owner Steve Solomon, applicant. This property is located at the corner of Highway 82 East and Jacob Hall Road. It also fronts on Stonebridge Road as well. This is a 37.7 acre tract parcel that they're asking to rezone and approve a 27 lot subdivision. In his packet, Train Rail has sent in all the required documentation. They've been notified that, our ordinance does dictate that when you pave, you have to pave the pavement. So they are very well familiar that they have to pave Jacob Hall Road. Both their entrances to their subdivision, because they are over our 25 lot, in our ordinance, anything over 25 lots requires 2 ways of ingress egress. Both of those will be on Jacob Hall Road. According to his site plan, he's been informed that he has to pay from their furthest point all the way to Highway 82. Also, he'd have to curb that said pavement. All those interior roads would be paved. We do have letters from the health department as far as septic permit issues. There was some concern about the water. We did have ESG go out and run water pressure test on there. I gave that to you in your packet during the work session. It did meet minimum requirements. The minimum requirement is 25 pounds. I think it averaged out to 50 pounds per PSI. Also, what he's asking for is currently is AU, and the property that's surrounding him is RR1. By our ordinance, he was notified by our department that the zoning class he needed to search out for was RR1 because it would be contiguous to what he was going to do, which comes down from a 3 acre tract down to a 1 acre tract of land. He meets those requirements. Most of the property out there, not all the property out there, are 1 acre tracts. And like I said, RR1 comes around 3 sides of this property. The Planning Commission heard this on July 13th, went through the 11 standards. Planning Commission, in their opinion, and in their capacity of what they do, said it met all 11 standards in our ordinance. They recommended approval. All was in favor. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions from the board at this time about this particular package.
Any questions? Here none, turn it over to Mr. Pittman for public hearing.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin and open a public hearing on application TCZA-23-08. It's a petition for rezoning being made by Trend Real Incorporated, owner and Steve Solomon, applicant, for 37.7 acres located on Jacob Hall Road, tax map 83, parcel 44. Current zoning is AU, agriculture, and the requested zoning is RR1, rural residential, for the purposes of constructing a 27 lot subdivision. Again, the way the public hearing is going to work, people that are in favor of the application will speak first. When you come to speak, please state your name and address. Once people who are speaking in favor of the application are done, then anybody that wishes to speak against the application can come forward and make your comments. After the comments are made, again, I'll poll the board and see if anybody has, any of the board members has finds a conflict of interest, and then at that point, the hearing will close and they'll take up the application. So at this point in the hearing, anybody that wishes to speak in favor of application TCZA 2308 is welcome to come forward to the podium and please state your name and address and let us hear your comments. Chairman, it doesn't appear anybody speaking in favor, so I'm going to ask that anybody who wishes to speak against the application TCZA 2308, you're welcome to come forward to the podium. Please state your name and address.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ricky Sellers, 59 Jacob Hall Road, me and my wife. We have owned it for 35 years. All these people live there. I have some paper I need you to start with. Just the concerns that we have about this subdivision. All right. And we also have a petition of 85 names, residents of the neighborhood. It's got their name and address that are against it. One of our concerns is with the water pressure and also the volume. Since this was typed up, I've talked to 4 different firemen, and they're telling me that even though ESG says the water pressure is there, that the problem is not pressure, it's volume. So I had one fireman tell me you can take a drinking straw and get 50 pounds of water pressure. But they said that there's no volume of water. The firepower water tank on 82 hadn't worked in years. They're not even using it. All the water's coming from it. They said that when they have a fire, they don't even use the fire hydrants in the neighborhood. They bring water from Tift. Also, the fire department has trucks, but they have no volunteer help. So there's no firefighters out there. One of our concerns is going to be increasing traffic in the neighborhood. There's 21 houses that surround this field. 17 of those houses, the residents are 60 years old or older. I know 2 of them is widow women that are in their mid-80s, and one of them is 90. When you put 27 houses out there, you're going to be looking at probably 54 cars in the neighborhood, 2 cars per house. There's going to be 4-wheelers, dirt bikes, because it is a dirt road out there. They'll be up and down the road, be a lot of noise. When we all bought our property out there, we didn't want to live in a subdivision. That's why we bought in the country. We didn't want to live in a subdivision, we bought the town. Most everybody out there has been there over 25 years, some up to 50 years. And I know it was said that there's already 1-acre lots out there. But me and my wife own 3 of those lots that join this, so we own over 3 acres. Most everybody out there owns over 3 acres. Even though it's 1-acre lot here and there, they own over 3 acres. The drainage problem out there we're having is it's wet. This field's not irrigated, has no center pivot, but it grows crop every year. good crop because of the wetness of the land. My property, I have a pump in the back of my property. When it rains over 2 inches, I run it for 2 days pumping water. It comes out of the field onto my property. It floods, I pump it out to the road ditch. So I don't know how they say it perks, maybe out in the center of the field maybe, but I don't see how it perks around the edge of the field. We put in a septic tank on my next lot next to my house for my son to put a mobile home on for a little while. It's already, he's moved off, it's gone. But I had to put a $10,000 septic tank in that is this high out of the ground because it would not perk. And the county told me that I couldn't have the septic tank, and I had to hire a soil scientist out of the land, Waycross to come over and approve the septic tank. And the most probably important thing is we develop this property, we're gonna lose ag land, farm land. I've been on the phone with Tyler Harper, Georgia Ag Commissioner. Tyler Harper told me that in the last year, the United States lost 1.9 million acres of farmland. And if that continued, the United States would be out of farmland in 2040. You couldn't get me the numbers on how much was lost in Georgia, because I gotta go through the Open Record Act. I talked to Justin Ham with the Tift County. Justin said that, like there again, he couldn't give me the number because of the Open Record Act, but he said Tift County has lost a significant amount of farmland. The crime in the neighborhood, we have no crime. Talked to Gene Sparter, he said that there again, we got the Open Record Act problem, but he said that there is no crime out in the neighborhood. Very few times we've had to call the law because somebody's running the ditch or whatever. We even had one neighbor had somebody run into his fence and tear it down about a little over a month ago, and he called the sheriff's department, and maybe they'll come tomorrow, but we haven't seen him yet. I know this land meets all the criteria they say. But he bought this land as ag land. I know he bought it probably to develop it. But it's just not a fit for our neighborhood. We've all lived there so long, and we don't want a subdivision. Last week, there was a comment made in this room about another petition applications being submitted tonight about, and they've changed the law on it, which allows it to happen. The comment was, this is not Atlanta, this is South Georgia. What's good for Atlanta, it's not good for South Georgia. It needs to be on a case-by-case basis. Just because this property meets the criteria, it's not good for our neighborhood because of the volume of the water and the other reasons just stated. So we ask that y'all deny this subdivision. These people here are here tonight because they don't want it. Names on that petition are here because they don't want it. I guess that pretty much sums it up unless I have left something out. Oh, one other thing. Fireman's told me there is an 8-inch water line that runs down 82. The water line runs off 82, it's the 4-inch water line to our house, down the road to our houses. And I was told by 2 of the firemen that if they would do the test down at the end of the line in the neighborhood, they would find out there is no volume of water. Or pressure. I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sutton. Anybody else wish to speak against the application?
I'll be able.
My name's Bert Connell, I live at 24 Connell Road, Tifton, Georgia. And, I own the land at the end of Connell Road. I've got over 10 acres. This spring, a friend of mine ordered a park model out there on my land, so he wouldn't have to pay $200 a night for a motel when he came to Tift County. He lived over at the other side of Waycross. They told me, when I went down there, even though I own over 10 acres, I could only park one house or one mobile home or one park model out there on 10 acres. And yet still, y'all want to put 1 acre, 10, I could put 9 more houses out there according to that. I don't want it out there. I'm not like Ricky, I moved to the country. And I bought my land in October of '72. We have a good neighborhood. Mr. Stone, I can tell you that. If you don't let them have anything to build a house, have 3 acres and about a 2,500 square foot house built on it. No mobile home, anything like that. Which I live in a mobile home, now don't get me wrong, but I bought mine in '73. Actually '72 and in '73 before it was dry enough I could put it in out there. But I've been there ever since. I've had 6 different addresses for the same house. And I find a little joy living out there. We have, like Ricky said, we have no problem with crime out there in our neighborhood. We only had one time, people rent the house, and I told the man that owned the rent house, he better get rid of him before he gets killed. And the next day, he was gone. We've had no other crime since then. That's 51 years I've been living there. But I am against it. I don't live right next to it, but I am against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Connell. Anybody else wish to address the board?
My name's Bobby Ledford, 23 Ledford Turner Road, and I want to know if y'all looked at the plat. Who owns the right-of-way once this is done? It's got 80-foot right-of-way, who owns it? Once it's completed, who owns the right-of-way?
Mr. Ledford, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned it. During the hearing, you're welcome to make all the comments you like about it to the board, but it's out of order to ask the board.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I should have said that
What
earlier.
I'm stating here is, according to this plat, you know, they gotta have 1 acre lot. The distances are coming off of the asphalt, it's going right through the right of way, so the distances can't be right. It's coming off the asphalt, and that's what their plat is showing. So, some of these won't be acre lots then anyway.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak against the application?
My name is Dan Berry. I live at 2205 Highway 82 East. I've been in Brookville so far all my life. The thing that I'm most concerned about, please understand I don't object to growth. That's not what I'm talking about. But if we keep chipping away productive farmland, 20 acres here, 20 acres there, 60 acres here, we're not going to have any farmland there. We're going to be a community of subdivisions. That's not what Tift County is about. Tift County is an agricultural community. We've been that way all my life. It's really concerning that we are chipping away. And it's productive land. I don't say, if we got a farm, something's been laying out for 10 years, not productive, that's fine, look at that. But productive land is growing a viable crop and producing jobs and producing other things for the county. Agriculture is bringing a lot of money to this county. And I'm just afraid if we keep chipping away a little bit at a time. I've seen it right next to my farm. We chipped away 70 acres over there. We're going to get 30 over here. We're going to get, we're not going to have any farms left. What are the farmers going to do? So So I think the zoning commission and everybody needs to look at the long-term effects of doing away with our vital farmland as much as any other issues.
Would anyone else like to speak in opposition to the application?
My name's James Wilson, I live at 2311 Highway 82 East. I don't have a whole lot to say, I just want to make sure that the board understands that Mr. Sellers got up here, he talked for all of us. Most of this group got together outside of this meeting, and we discussed the reasons that he laid out before y'all. So I don't want y'all to think that that was his, that was all him. That was all of us. That was the whole community out there. I didn't talk to anybody that lives out there that wants anything to do with the subdivision. Y'all see one, I got two more out yonder. We played in that dirt road behind the house. And there's already side-by-sides that come out there. I don't know where they come from, but I can't imagine the number of side-by-sides that'll show up when there's 27 more houses out there. And I know that our yard has a hard enough time draining. It stays wet. It hadn't rained in a month and a half until the hurricane came through here, and the concrete truck still got stuck in my yard. It was hard as a rock on top, but when that concrete truck stopped and sat there and spun for 2 hours, he was stuck, and it was nasty. So right there, we always see that water standing in the ditch right there, and I just can't imagine that putting 27 houses in that field is a good idea. I'm gonna stop right there, I promise, Katie, I won't lose the temper. So,
Just state your name and address one more time.
James Wilson, 2311 Highway 82 East.
Thank you,
Our
sir.
lot backs up to Stonebridge Road, right there at the bridge, and, I just can't, them lots that back up to Tall Tree Road and Stonebridge Road, people just put some culvert down and start riding the dirt roads, because, everybody moves to the county thinks that they can get a side-by-side crew. And I don't care, just do it safely. They jump that bridge, it's like, they think it's a whoop that they can get going 60 miles an hour and then try to stop before they get to the curb. So that's all I got to say. I just want to make sure everybody understood. Thank you, James.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak against the application? Nobody else wishing to speak?
I'm going to speak, I'm sorry, yes, sir, I'm going to. My name is Robin Strickland. I'm at 6 Jacob Hall. Whenever this first came up, I'm a felony probation officer, and I supervise sex offenders. The last thing I want to do is have them in my neighborhood where there are babies and children. Right now, there's no danger of that because all the houses are there. We don't have to worry about that happening in our neighborhood. It can be a scary thing, but I certainly don't want it in the neighborhood where I live, which is the reason when we moved here in 2015, as it was stated, that's why we moved to the county, where there was no houses around. We're both in law enforcement. We want to be in our yard. We want to be able to enjoy the time in our yard and not have somebody stopping by, or if something happens and I upset a loved one of somebody, that I've got to worry about them coming by my house and shooting or doing or whatever. And people get angry. They make foolish decisions. So I don't want to see that. I agree. There is growth, but you're taking away, as they said, the farmland, the jobs, and you're putting all these people in danger. Because been stated, there are older people there. There are widows there. A lot of us still work. And we don't have any crime right now. But when you start putting that many people out there, you are opening those doors.
Thank you, Mr. Strickland. Anybody else want to speak?
Can I say one more thing?
Mr. Chairman, do you mind if Mr. Sellers says one more thing?
1 second.
Go ahead.
1 sec.
I know that the property owner has rights to off his property. I understand that. But so do these people. We have rights too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sellers. Anybody else? Okay, at this point, I'm going to poll the board and see if anybody has a conflict of interest. Does any member of the Board of Commissioners or any of your family members or any business entity in which you own an interest have any interest in the outcome of this application? It appears that all the commissioners are qualified to act on the application. At this point, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and the board will take up the application.
All right. Do we have a motion?
So if you, I know asking me personally, I'll tell you, this is the toughest job we do, rezone. Because somebody's gonna leave here happy, somebody's gonna leave here sad. I can't speak for the other commission. How I look at a zoning is, has it met the 11 standards? And has the landowner, the person that owns that land, have they met the legal right to develop their property? And in this case, I'm gonna say yes, 100%. The landowner has met the right to do what they feel is best for their property. I'm a country boy. I live on a dirt road. I'm a farmer. I farm out there in Omega. Everything y'all brought up is valid points. In fact, if you ask me personally, I don't like subdivision. I don't like solar farms. But I'll be honest with you, I don't even like paved roads. But it's not about what I like. It's about the landowner's rights to do what they want to do with their land. And for that reason only, and I will always vote for, do they meet the 11 standards, and has the landowner met the right to do what they want to do with their land? It's not that I agree with it personally, because I'll be honest with you. I would probably be with every one of y'all that's speaking out today, because I'm the farm boy. I live on a dirt road. But I have to go with, has the landowner met the legal obligation to do what they want to do with their land? In this case, it's yes. And for that reason, and for that reason only, I make a motion that we approve this zoning request.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Second. Commissioner Wood, second, and all in favor? All right, any opposed? All right, motion carries 4-2. All right, we have TZZA 23-09B.
Good evening, board. The next application is TCZA 23-09. Application submitted by George Hunt III Family Trust, owner, and George Hunt, Julie Hunt, man, and Julie Hunt applicants. Their property is located on Highway 82 West. It's the old car auction property on the right. It's located at map 20, parcel 44, 7.86 acres of land that they are asking to rezone from AU to general business for the purpose of having a manufactured home sales lot. I believe in our discussions, the applicants would like for us to just table this motion tonight so we can do some further.
If I might, remember the work session, we talked about several things. One is that the property is actually on the current land use map and the comprehensive plan has commercial property. And we discussed that if there's been continued growth along the corridor, especially 82 west, there's been significant commercial development out there. So one of the things we talked about during the work session, is rather than a wholesale rezoning, looking at development of basically a commercial corridor overlay that would allow underlying ag to remain in place, but some limited controlled commercial growth too. I talked with Mr. Hunt, and they're willing to they'll go along with us tabling this and giving us till next month to really come back with a proposed overlay, so not just for the board to consider, and hopefully they will address their issues. We started looking at that already, so from a staff standpoint, we just would recommend taking this 30 days.
Okay, everybody find the table? All right. Thank you, Chris.
Can we take a short break so those that need to can go to the,
Sure.
is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
We need to vote to table that.
We need to vote to table.
Yes, we need to vote to table.
I need a motion to table. I make a motion to give it to Buck out. Commissioner Reagan, motion. Commissioner Webb, second. All in favor? Short break. 5
Go spray peanut.
How are you?
It's 17.
I'm told 17. At 7 o'clock. Hey, we need to go too. That's all about that. So I guess I couldn't move out there if I wanted to.
You voted against Splot? I mean, they voted on Splot stuff?